It's Ray and Whitney with This Is Why We Don't Have Friends.
Welcome to the podcast where everyday life turns into a full-blown sitcom. Buckle up.
It's going to get weird.
Today's episode, Ray gets fondled by a woman at Wendy's.
That's a 10 out of 10.
All right, we're on episode 2 of Ray and Whitney. This is why we don't have friends, which is actually pretty sad. I do want to address, before we get into today's Wendy's fiasco, the fact that when we put out the teasers for this podcast, people thought we were going to get on here and just bash everyone we knew by name.
We have talked about it.
I know, but what does that say about us? Maybe that is why we don't have friends. Are we those people?
I'd love to just maybe do one and we change the name to protect the innocent.
Oh, do we have to change the name? See, maybe
No.
I am that person because I'm like, no, I don't want to change names. I want to say.
Because some of those stories are unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Okay, I do also want to address the fact that this basement that we are in is insanely haunted. And I have cold chills right now because Ray doesn't know what just happened. So there's a Grace Potter poster in a frame behind Ray. Okay.
It's changed, you can see.
And yeah,
that just fell too.
Yeah, that just fell too. And during our warm-ups, it kind of went on its side, which was kind of weird, but I just let it go because, I don't want to ruin a podcast moment. However, just now, about 10 minutes later, it just flipped itself. So it literally just righted itself.
It's not a
I have cold chills.
not a ghost.
What is the wall crooked? Like, is there a mouse? Maybe. Maybe.
It just wasn't,
I don't know.
It just wasn't hung up there. It was poorly done. Poor execution.
I'm going to explain to you in a minute, or I can get it now and I can
If
show
something
you.
goes flying around here.
So
we'll talk
no,
about
but
that.
Ray, this literally was like, it was sitting tilted and then all of a sudden it righted itself 10 minutes later. I just watched it happen. I literally
It
have
fell.
goosebumps. No, it fell earlier, but now just, okay. Anyhow, we're here to talk about how Ray got fondled at Wendy's.
That's some great entertainment right there.
Absolutely. He got fondled at Wendy's. So I'm going to set it up and then I'm going to let you tell what happened when you got inside, okay? Ray is addicted to Wendy's strawberry lemonade. And for a minute there, the tangerine kind of had your attention. But I'm talking like we will drive 3 miles to Wendy's just to get a lemonade. It must be that good. I don't know. I've
They
never
got
had
some
it.
good stuff. Wendy's is good.
Wendy's is good, and we're looking for a sponsor. Hey, Wendy's, especially after your experience there. But we go to Wendy's, and oddly enough, this never happens. There are like 15 cars in the drive-thru. So Ray says, hey, Whit, just pull up to the front, and I'll run in, and I'll get my
I
strawberry
knew what I was doing.
lemonade, okay? So
I know what happens. at
my
Wendy's.
point of view is Ray is gone into Wendy's to get a strawberry lemonade, and he comes out with 2 large strawberry lemonades because, while you're there, you might as well double fist it. And he looks terrified. And he says to me, I didn't know if I wanted to tell you this, or I don't know if I should tell you this, or maybe I should tell you this. And the whole way that I've been walking, the whole time I've been walking out of Wendy's, I was like, should I tell Whitney? Should I not tell Whitney? Should I tell Whitney? And I said, just tell me. And he literally said, that woman in there hit my
She did.
So tell us what happened.
Well, it's the first time I think I've been inside that place or paid any attention. But you order from ordering from a kiosk.
A woman.
Yeah, two women, college.
That makes it
And I
even better.
get my drinks, and I'm walking by, and she just has this big emotional laughter, and her hand just swings back and just slaps me right in the unit. And they were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
So she realized what happened.
I don't know if she knew how lucky she was.
How lucky she was to have put her hand upon your crotch.
I don't know if she knew that or not.
Ray.
I was thinking, I'm hoping that she just thinks she hit my arm or something.
But she knew. You could tell immediately she knew that she hit your crotch.
I think so, yeah.
Was she embarrassed?
I knew.
Well, obviously you knew.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I
I
almost dropped one of my drinks. That would have been great, wouldn't it?
oh man, that would have made this podcast even better.
I just screamed, "You touch my..."
Me Too movement. What is so funny is that you are 61.
Yeah.
You're 61, and these were college girls.
Yeah.
And you had a college
I'm sure
girl.
I made their day. I'm sure they laughed about it.
Do I think that you made their day? Do you think they did like a blood or a spit pact that they were like, don't tell anyone this?
No.
I mean, you think that they were like, yeah, I did that. Like, I feel good about that. Made me feel a certain type of way.
I doubt that. I didn't think like that.
Were they embarrassed?
I just thought, she just hit my...
You said, that girl just hit me in the...
Yep.
Is what you said. And what was so funny is he was terrified to tell me. Okay.
On the episode before this, when I said or something, and you said, we've got to be careful.
We're going to have to put some kind of a little explicit warning on this one since, apparently I have said like 4 times now. That might have been
I haven't thought about it since.
You haven't? That's... I find that interesting that you needed to reveal that now.
But I have read that's a pretty common thing that happens here at Wendy's.
You read that?
Yeah.
You've been on Reddit?
Yeah.
You've been on Reddit looking at the Wendy's, like trolling the Wendy's, what happens? What is so funny to me is that you came back truly terrified to tell me that another woman...
Not terrified, but just wondering, is this even important at all? But I thought it was pretty funny, so I thought it was.
I said, Ray, why were you scared? And you said, well, I didn't want you to get mad. I said, what did you want me to do? Go in there and beat them up?
That's what you should have done. Should have went back in there and just got all, what's your alter ego's name?
Oh, yeah, we won't talk about that. No,
yeah,
we won't.
It's going to be brought up.
No, we're not going to talk about Whitney's alter ego. I tell you what, Ray, if I had been 19 years old, I probably would have. But now I'm 45, and I'm telling you what, I'm tired. I am tired. I'm too tired to be causing any kind of ruckus. I don't even care.
You could have walked back in there and say, listen, you touch my man's... And she goes...
And then what? What would I have demanded from her? Like an apology to me? For just touching you
laughing.
And just start laughing.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that were you upset that I laughed instead of went back in to cause an altercation with these ladies?
I was a little upset that you were not jealous.
Oh,
You
expected me to be jealous.
Yeah.
You wanted a reaction.
Another woman touched my thing, honey.
I can't. Ray, I'm too tired to be taken up for this. The thing, did you enjoy it? This is a pivotal question, sir.
It wasn't something to enjoy. It was a shock.
I guess nobody really likes to be smacked in that area. I guess, maybe some people do. It's all good if that's your thing.
The timing on all of it was like, how'd that happen?
That. Did you feel violated? Very serious question.
I know I've never talked to him again.
You wouldn't.
I have not talked to him again.
You won't.
I haven't.
Did you all trade contact information?
Well, you would think something would have traded.
So you're saying, hey, I gave you a free feel.
Yeah.
I should at least get your number to these college girls.
No. I don't want to talk to him.
You don't want to talk to him?
No, I don't want anything to do with him.
What kind of people are they? Listen, she was having a fun moment with her friend. She was flailing her arms.
Yeah.
And so let's turn this around.
She probably learned maybe I shouldn't flail.
Oh, I don't know if she learned that because I'm a flailer and once you flail, you flail. Oh,
how many have you flailed a bond?
That
came out wrong.
How many? Oh, and Henny has joined us, our Australian Shepherd. She has decided she wants to be part of this podcast, and we're just going to keep going because this is a real life. So, yeah, she's making a lot of panty noises. That's not Ray. wondering how many. He just said how many have I flailed upon, and this is funny. Okay, listen.
If you've ever flailed upon one, you should remember.
Well, that's a whole different thing. I don't think everybody remembers all of the they have flailed upon, Ray. But this brings me to another subject I was talking to my friend about not too long ago. Okay. This is my second marriage. I'm going to out you on this. I'm your third wife. I'm your current wife. Your third wife. You're my second. So obviously we both have children. We have flailed upon some other people's regions before. Science will tell you that, that has happened. I have birthed babies.
I don't think that's what I'm not talking about that type of flailing, honey.
Well, I just have, I'm trying to,
even a word?
I'm trying to transition you to a different question here. Okay. So I had a talk with my friend the other day where her boyfriend got really aggravated. He asked her how many men that she had slept with.
We're not going to be
him.
talking about
No,
that.
I just want to get your opinion on this. Okay, so she gave him a number, and we all know that the number she gave him was less than the real number. Okay, not because she's a liar. Well,
that's what that is.
Partially she was lying, but also because there are I don't want to say a great number. There are at least a few that you don't remember, that you wipe from your memory. And maybe when you see them at Sam's Club or something like that, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. but you really don't. And
So we can't go to Sam's anymore?
Oh, you'd be so sad if you couldn't get that hot dog. But the thing is that you just don't think about it. You just really don't think about it. And I don't know anybody that makes a list and keeps a running list of everybody they've been intimate with, right? I know Ray does not want to reveal anything. I will just say Ray was a touring musician, so I don't even ask, okay? I don't even ask because I don't even want to know. But I'm just saying, is it important to you as a man to know, the number?
No.
Right. I saw a study literally the other day, that said that a man's ideal number of partners for his woman is 1 to 3 before he meets her. And a woman's ideal partners for her man is 5 to 6 before she meets him. And you know what I did? I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. I was like, this is insanity. I'm so glad you and I have actually not really had this conversation. We don't talk about this.
We know more than we probably needed to know. That's a question I don't think you have to ask.
No, you don't have to. Why does it matter?
Yeah.
We're not going to remember. Our memories are terrible.
This is not funny, but there's some people out there, it's got experiences they want to forget.
This is true. There are experiences that you want to forget. Yeah.
You can't shame somebody for
their
past.
You should definitely not shame. Look, and that's another thing. You are a different person. I'm a completely different person than I was at 18.
Do you shame me for having my flailed them on?
I really don't like. That is a terrible way to say it. Did you just say you had your flailed upon at Wendy's? Is that?
That's what this whole podcast is about.
I mean, I thought it was a funny story, Ray.
It is.
I will have to tell you that, Ray, as I was talking about what we were going to start talking about on these podcast episodes, and I was kind of telling him, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. He was like, are there any stories where you look like an idiot? And I was like, we'll put some of those.
This ain't nothing funny to be talking about, but you're like a champion Wendy's drive-through.
Oh, here he goes.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, and we'll tell it. We've got time. We'll tell it. It's McDonald's, by the way. Get it right.
It's been Wendy's, too.
Okay, stop. Okay, maybe it was Wendy's once as well. Okay, I have a huge problem with knowing which window to pull up to after you place your order. Most fast food places have 2 windows, right? Ideally, you place your order at the speaker, you pull to the first window to make your payment, and then you pull to your second window to get your food. Well,
who does that anymore?
Nobody does it. I guess COVID or whatever, they don't have enough employees.
Burger King still does it. They got that one guy that's...
He's so nice. Don't say anything bad about my Burger King guy now. Listen. But They don't. They don't employ enough people and don't have enough workers or whatever. I don't know. They figured out it was a bad idea. I don't know what they do, but they don't. And my mind is confused by this. So I continuously try to pull up to that first payment window because I'm not listening to the speaker when they're like, it's $14.83.
Let me tell
pull
you,
to the second window.
You do not want her backing up in a drive-through.
So this is what happened.
Anyway, whatsoever.
So the lady said, it's $14.83, pull to the second window. Well, I wasn't listening because anyone who knows me knows I don't listen. You can tell me things. You're going to have to tell me 3 times. It's called frequency, okay? 3 times. That's how many times it takes for Whitney to actually hear you on a subject,
She
okay?
tell you to go to the
She said
second
go
or
to the
first?
second window, right? That means bypass the first payment window because it's late and we don't have an employee there, lady. You can pay me at window number 2. Well, I go to the first window. She said second. I went to the first window and I sit there and I sit there and I sit there and no one comes. And I start to realize, oh, maybe she said go to the second window. So after a while, I said, I'm just going to go on. There's nobody in front of me or behind me. I'm going to go on and pull up to that second window. So I pull up to the second window. Well, there's no one there. And so then I freak out and I'm like, oh no, I'm supposed to be at the first window. So I back up into the drive-thru to that first window. And Ray is in the passenger seat at this time, not saying anything, just letting this happen, okay? I pull back to that first window, and he's right. I'm a terrible driver. I'm terrible at backing up, even more than anything, and it was bad. So pull back to that first window where, guess what? Still nobody is at that first window. So I panic, and I pull back up to that second window again.
They're calling the cops at this point.
There's no one there. I do this 3 times. I do this process three times. Finally, I make just a decision. I'm going to stay at that second window, and they are going to find me. They're going to get. And I ordered like 20 double cheeseburgers. It was also a very big order.
You remember the time
I did.
You ordered like 5 for $5 from Arby's or something?
Ray's just
What was
outing
that?
me. This is him. This is his
Since
way.
we're talking
This
fast
is right.
food.
This is his way of making sure that Whitney tells some of her idiotic
She
stories.
kind of got banned
He did
from
tell
Arby's.
me, I'll tell that story too. But he did tell me at McDonald's that day, after he let it all happen, and I'm freaking out. I'm having a meltdown, and he's just watching me, just no expression.
And everybody else.
And he says, finally, he's like, Whitney, they're going to call the cops. They're going to think you're drunk. You look like a drunk person doing this. So yeah, Arby's. Yeah, I got banned from Arby's in Palomar, and I'll tell you about that. Well, they had an online coupon, 5 for $5. And back in the day, if you grew up in the 90s and 2000s, you know that was like a thing. 5 for $5. Well, not anymore. Now you get 2 for $6.99. This is no joke. 2 for $6.99. Well, I got this online coupon, and I was excited. Funny thing is, I don't even eat Arby's, okay? But I was excited for everyone. I was going to buy Arby's.
The dogs get sandwiches.
The dogs were going to get Arby's that day. Everybody was Arby's for everyone. You get an Arby's. You get an Arby's. So I go through, and I get 5 for $5, and I go through it, and then I'm like, I would like to get 5 more. So I pull back through the drive-thru, and I do it again. I use that coupon, and the little girl's like, So I try to do it a 3rd time, and the girl's like, you're done here. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm just getting my 5 for $5. And she was like, ma'am, you are only supposed to use this once, and I let you use it twice.
That was somebody else.
That was somebody else. You don't know me. I'm like putting on a hat and sunglasses, and I'm like, hi.
Whoa.
You know, that was kind of humiliating. You know, it was pretty rough stuff. I did get banned. She did ask me not to come back, and honestly, we didn't go back for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Now I go back, and well, you know, listen, the turnover rate's high for Arby's. They got new workers. They don't know me.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, but
The stories are legendary, though. They probably still talk about it.
surely they don't.
They probably still have your picture on the wall. Do
Surely.
not serve this person.
It was all over Reddit. It was on the neighborhood board. Oh, the neighborhood board. Oh my gosh, where in our neighborhood, the big news, it's not only, Doris is having a fit. Doris, the Chihuahua, has joined us, and Henny, the Australian Shepherd, has joined us, and they are having a fit right now. But the stories on our neighborhood board, it's all about, did you hear that gunshot? Which is not a gunshot. We live in a very safe area. And the big story, the huge story that everybody's so concerned about are the hawks. Tell us.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
People are getting their pets taken by the hawk.
Are they?
I'm sure it happens.
Like what, one time?
Maybe more than one. This is a wild. We're in their world.
In
you know,
the world of the
take,
hawks?
We take our little dogs and put them in the backyard, and they're like, "That's food."
That's food.
Yeah.
But we let Doris go out there. Are you not afraid? She's a little chihuahua.
I am afraid sometimes.
She's gained some weight. I don't think she's pretty chubby. I don't think a hawk could pick her up.
I saw a rabbit bigger than her dead at the side of the house. That if somebody can kill that, they can kill her.
That wasn't a hawk that killed that rabbit?
You never know.
No, a hawk would carry it off, right?
It might have dropped it there.
Well, then it was too fat.
Yeah, it was a big one.
It was a big one. Well, they make little vests for chihuahuas, Ray, that have spikes on them that you can put on your chihuahua,
I've seen that.
on your tiny dog, so they can go out without being picked up by a hawk.
They like to talk about on that neighborhood board. They like to talk about the shootings. And did you all see that helicopter? There's a helicopter.
Oh, there's a helicopter. They're so dramatic.
Yeah.
I cannot with those people. It's always the hawks, the shootings, the helicopters, and nothing has happened. This is what happens when you live in suburbia.
Sometimes it does, though.
Sometimes we got shootings, right? I've never seen a hawk carrying a dog through the air in the neighborhood.
I'm sure it's happened.
I don't know. I am not worried about it. Sorry, Doris.
Oh, somebody take that one.
The Australian Shepherd. Well, that is not nice. Well, coming back around to your Wendy story.
Oh, no.
Coming all the way back around to the whole reason we started this episode today. Do you feel like you got a little something extra? I mean, you haven't. The funny thing is Ray, you have not asked to go to Wendy since then.
I'm afraid.
Do you have PTSD?
No.
When women start moving their hands, do you just automatically cover your junk?
It's like I have nightmares at night about it.
You're having nightmares at night about it.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
No, it was just very funny. You know.
You found it funny?
Yeah.
You looked terrified when you came to the car.
It's hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious, and I think you were offended that I did think it was hilarious, and I didn't fight for you.
No, I wasn't offended. But
what would you have done if I had gone in there? If I had just opened up the door and taken my earrings out, and I put my hair back in a ponytail, and I'm like, "Hey, you did this." Would you have been like,
"You've been there.
Stop"?
You've done that.
I have done that. Not for you. I've done that in my younger, crazier days. I've walked all up in a tanny bed and threatened to kill a girl. Well, listen, yeah, well, that was a mess. My significant other at the time was giving this girl money.
Yeah.
It's bonkers.
Who doesn't?
What do you mean? You just give young college girls money?
Yeah.
Ray, did you pay this girl to flail?
I bought her some chicken nuggets.
Was that what that second lemonade was for? And she was like, "No, thanks. I don't need a drink." Oh my gosh.
She's like, "I'm allergic."
She's like, "I'm allergic. It's watermelon." Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for tuning in to episode
it's not time.
2. It is time. You have something else
more about
Well, go ahead, Ray. Go ahead.
What was that?
Go ahead and just. What else would you like to say about your unit?
That it's getting ready to take a rest.
It's
time to say goodbye. Henny's trying to say goodbye. They're all saying goodbye.
The dogs are telling us right now that this is a good time to stop. It is. So thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of Ray and Whitney. This is why we don't have friends. You can hear it right here, right now. See you next time.
I went for lemonade and I ended up getting fondled.